Okay, now that you have practiced your letters, making them nice with that block letter system, remember you have these letters on your computer to refer to help you. Um, do it as many times as you need to, you guys, to get your letters right. And I'm going to have people take a picture of these letters as part of your submission. Okay, so I want to see that you really tried to make them right. And I even want to see all these little crossing lines and all these. Don't worry about erasing everything perfectly. I want to see that you went through the process of making these letters accurate and and really nice and almost like they were made by a computer. Okay, so make sure you go through that process. All right, and you have that on your computer. Then what you're going to do is make one more set of stacked up blocks. You know how to do that already. And we're going to put your first, middle, and last initial on these blocks. And if by chance you have a name that does not have a middle initial, if you only have a first and last name, just pick a letter, doesn't matter. If you have two middle names, doesn't matter. Pick one of them because your stack should only be 3 high. Don't try to do 4 names. Some people have a hyphenated name or 2 middle names. Don't do that. Just pick the 3 letters, your first and last name plus one of your middle names, or make up a letter if you don't have one. All right, here we go. So you're going to take that, and we're going to now combine the cubes using 2-point perspective that you've set up. You're going to set up your horizon line, your 2 points, and do this just like you did before. And you're going to combine this knowledge, but now put it onto here. Now we have to go back to using our orthogonal lines. Now I'm going to do my grandkids, Max and Parker, and their last name starts with an R. So it doesn't matter what side you put the letters on. Okay, I'm going to put the M over here. I think there's a little bit more space because I cut this part short. So you do the exact same thing, you guys. And now you want to make everything with a ruler. Okay, so I'm going to make this side of the M. Okay, that's this part right over here. And you can do what I did over here. Make the letter. Okay, actually, what I suggest is make the letter kind of square. Because that's the way you make it first before you round off parts. Now I'm going to make the other leg of the M back here. Remember, the edge of the block is the edge of the letter. And look how already that M is lower on this side is going to make it look like it goes back into the distance. Now, just like we did over here, remember we kind of made an X. We had our little landmarks to go by. Right? We had those landmarks. The same thing happens here. So from here, I'm going to go right down to that corner. There's always a place to go. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to go here to here. Notice I didn't go all the way because I know I don't need to. Okay, didn't go all the way. I know I don't need to. Now I'm going to go from here down to here. And now sometimes, ooh, watch this little tricky spot. Because this letter blocks the bottom of the M, I'm going to very lightly draw. It almost lines up with it. I have to imagine where the bottom of the M is, and actually it's just down here a little bit more. Then I can go up to the top corner, and I only need to go to here where the lines cross. From this corner down to that spot. And check out how now I just made the front part of the M. That's all we're doing on this video. And I'll do these two just to kind of show you the process again on each, the top, middle, and bottom letter. Now over here, just on this side, we can get rid of the cube. We don't need the cube anymore. So again, just focus on just the letter. We're going to do how the letter goes back in space on the next video. Now again, doesn't matter what side. I'm going to switch sides just to show you that you can. I'm going to make the P right here. Now, I didn't have to on the M, but now I need to start using my vanishing points to make this rounded part of the P. So I'm going to go down from the top. I'm going to pick a spot that might be about the same thickness, maybe just a shade thicker because it's supposed to be bigger. Now I'm going to find my vanishing point right over here, and here comes the top of the P right there. That's the top part. Now I'm going to make the bottom part. The bottom part of the rounded section of the P. So I'm going to go right here, and then I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. Now look what happened. Whoops, my ruler moved. Look what happened. I went on either side of the original horizon line. So this one goes slightly down to the vanishing point. This one goes slightly up to the vanishing point. And realize that the letters on this side of the cube typically will use that vanishing point when you create the letters. But now we have what looks like an F. So now we need to make the front part of the P, and I don't draw the line all the way down because I don't need to, so I just put it right there. Now, just like we did on curved letters, we can do the same thing. Look at this. We have our same kind of targets. I'm going to round that off, do a small one in here that looks parallel to that one. Round this off and do a small one at this corner. Okay, and now we can kind of erase all of those little bits. See, we don't even need, we still need this part of the cube, but we don't need that bottom part. Okay, so now we can just kind of clean up inside the letter. Now for the R, let's go. Actually, no, we're going to see that. So let's do this. Ooh, watch this one, you guys. Now I know this part of the P is going to be gone. This will happen to some of you, and some of you it won't. See this open area here? I know I'm going to have part of the P gone. So now I'm going to go back in and draw the rest of this cube kind of lightly. And we'll see how this works out. This one, again, crosses over to that line. Okay, so I know the P is going to be filling in some of the space, but I needed to see where the R is going to happen in here. You'll see it happen in just a second. So an R, just like the P, it's just like a P with an extra little leg. So I'm going to quickly do this. Again, now I use this vanishing point to get the top of the R, and this vanishing point again to get those two, wait a second, one right about there and one right, oops, I just used the other side of the ruler, right about there. So again, we have what looks like an F, but now we're going to make the R, the capital R, with this part. I stopped right there at the P. Now I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so this, for an R, let's see if it's on here. It is. See this part of the R, this little notch right here? That's a good way to make the R. And I'll show you how that works right here. So again, on an R, we have our landmarks just like the front of a P. Let's round it off to our landmarks. Now to find the center of a square or a rectangle, all you have to do is connect the corners together. See that? Then this little point right there where those two lines cross is where I can create that little notch and let it round off down to the bottom. And then we'll have, again, a little curve here that matches this one, and this one needs its match right there. So now we can start to see the R. Okay, and we can start to get rid of all these lines that cross each other. Don't get rid of the cube, just the stuff inside the letter. So that's the next stage of doing this assignment. Don't try to do the letter and the thickness at the same time. Just put in the front of each letter and you're done with that section. And the next video, we'll go over how to use the vanishing points to really get that to look like it's going back in space and have that dynamic kind of superhero quality. There you go.